Bet a grand. Bet two. Is that the best y'all can do? Bet three. Bet four. I'll raise you two more.
The poker table was crowded and heavily enshrouded with the smoke of the players' cigars. They were drinking and smoking, snorting and coking, and being watched by two underworld czars. There were 7 cats playing, but only 3 of them were staying, cause the other 4 dudes had to fold. These 3 studs were hot and had won every pot, whilst the other cats' hands were cold. They were playing 5-card draw and had won premature and just knew that they had it made. So we decided we'd liven up the pot by copping a squat, cause we were much more harder to persuade. Big Bill Wheeler had been the dealer, along with Spongy and Shy. They had played it slick and used the Indian giver trick, then let the other 4 cats comply. We copped our squats, then anteed in the pot. The figure was set at $1,000. We sat across from each other so we could dig one another and signal when we copped a hand. With our emotions concealed, we each cut for the deal, then passed around the pack. First Spongy and I, then Bill, Spoon, and Shy, who was the first man to come up with a jack. Shy broke out a new deck, which I asked to inspect. Before we all embarked, I checked out the front, sides, and back, then let Spoon cut the pack, satisfied that the cards weren't marked. He shuffled and dealt with nerves like steel, commanding our quiet respect. After receiving my hand, I signaled to my man to open up indirect. Spoon coughed back twice, letting me know he was nice, sitting there with 3 of a kind. But first we'd have to lure them in and let them think they could win by making our attacks combine. Spongy opened for $1,000 and the play began, but not till they had paid the price, cause I quickly raised his bet with my jaws dead set, wearing a face like a sheet of ice. It was now on Bill to assert his will and call my raise of 20, but he ended his bout by copping out, saying, "That's buku bucks too many." Spoon diagnosed the effects as his turn came next, just like I expected him to. He then called my bet and Shy began to sweat, trying to figure out what he should do. He soon realized that he couldn't last, so he reluctantly passed, and it was now on Spongy again. After wiping away his sweat, he called my bet, then raised me another 10. But by now we had cramped their style and had Spongy's mind beguiled, so he didn't know what to do. I then folded my hand according to plan, giving Spoon the green light cue. Spoon tripled his 10, and it was on Spongy again. The call raise or die. The pressure was so great, he had to deliberate before he could give his reply. After a 5-minute stall, he finally called, saying, "I'll take 2 cards, my man." Spoon also took 2, and the tension grew as to who had the better hand. Spoon soon signaled with a nod, indicating he had received a card. He needed to make 4 of a kind. Meanwhile, Spongy had raised him another 10, saying, "It's on you, my friend," trying to put my man in a bind. But Spoon took it in stride as he quickly complied and dealt with the situation. He put his 10 G's in the pot, saying, "Now let's see what you got," without the slightest hesitation. Spongy laid down his hand, saying, "4 studs, my man," and reached over to scoop up the pot, but Spoon stopped him cold, saying, "It's about time you were told. 4 bitches is what I got."